Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Reginal Drummer, the peopleologist, coming to you live on this Sunday night, Mother's Day. Special shout out to all the moms, whether it's the biological mom, stepmoms, aunties, cousins, uh, any of the ladies that step in to help raise our family. Uh, uh, First off, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe to our Square Mile Media channel over here, and share with a friend. It's going to be a powerful show because we're going to be talking about mothers, memories of mom, uh, and moms are our entry into this world. Uh, and this is my first Mother's Day without my mother. My mother passed in December, and it's different things that you remember about your mother, different things that you hold dear. And there were a lot of lessons that I still continue to learn about my mother and all the other women in my family, my aunt, grandmothers, all of them. But it's something about mom, celebrating mom, uh, what moms mean to us uh, when we think about this life itself. It's hard for anyone. Rarely do you find somebody that have a problem with their mother. Well, I know people, young people, you know, raise up against mom, but I've seen so many people, uh, especially men, when it comes down to mom, yeah, you know, don't mess with mom. Uh, so this Mother's Day, we're gonna bring some mothers in, moms on a mission, and we encourage everybody out there because we handle Mother's Day different. Uh, just in my little circle, I've seen. Uh, this is my first time experiencing white rose uh, in the morning of a month. For well, 63 years of my life, we had the red rose, and I look at so many different situations and scenarios where people didn't have their mother, so that can be a different thing. You can always say, "I know how you feel," uh, but until you lose a mother, it's a totally different thing. You never know how you're gonna react. Uh, but uh, I really believe my mother is at peace. I had her for 63 great years. She was 91. Uh, and so many of the lessons that I learned from her, the sacrifices that she made, not just for our family, but for other families. So Edith, Virginia Mosley, drummer, I said a good shout out to you. Also, to all the other women in my family, stepmother who's still alive. Talked to her this morning. With Bernice Drummer down in Jacksonville. Beautiful person, beautiful mother, beautiful spirit. Came into the family, and her and my mom hit it off real good. And that's incredible. So, but tonight we're gonna bring some other mothers in, and I encourage you to share this with your family and friends. We've got moms out there on a mission. Dr. Sherry Beasley Teague and one of my co-hosts, Miss Sylvia Hayes. Uh, how you ladies doing? Well, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. I am doing good.
Because I know y'all probably said, well, we ain't gonna, I know Drum ain't gonna be up there talking all night about his experiences, mom. But happy Mother's Day, ladies, and welcome this evening. And everybody that's out there in the chat, I know you got some things, some memories of your mom, different things that you remember most about your mother. And also we got yes, Dr. Staples. Hey, how you doing? Yes, we got the moms on the mission in the house. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you ladies introduce yourselves, and we'll share some stuff. Like I said earlier, we have women that are mothers, grandmothers, aunties, stepmothers, uh, uh, just nurturers in general. But starting with you, uh, Dr. Sherry B. Teague, can you introduce yourself and let us know about your family? I guess you all can say, because women like to say, well, I'm the mother, I got so many kids, grandkids, and all that type stuff. So give us a brief history about yourself and your position when it comes down to motherhood.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Doing
Doing
good.
great.
All right. I am a mother. I have one child. I have several goddaughters and godsons. I've spent the day sending texts out to people, uh, wish them happy Mother's Day. My godmother died last year, and so I had to make sure I sent a real good text to my god sister. This is her first year without her mother. My mother died in 2012, and her mother
Mm,
was with me. She drove herself. She was 104. I'm 3 weeks for being 104 last year, and
ah,
she drove herself to the funeral. Talk about, come on, ride with me. I said, you come on, get in the car with me, and here we go. But I'd always ride with her. But we had a limousine. I didn't know she was coming. So, but anyway, I said, you get in the car with me and we ride. And after this is over, we'll get in your car and we'll go home. But and you're talking about a strong spirit. Mothers, I mean, I spent the day even sending out things. There's a song that says, it talks about oh Lord, mm, 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 memories and how memories can mean so much, but people a lot of times don't understand that's the way that's God's gift to us. When we remember our mother, like you talked about the red rose, 63 years. I was older than that. Lord bless. I had my mother, and my first wife, when I was with one of my girlfriend's mother and her grandmother, I went to visit them in Oregon. And they said, "Come on, baby, you can spend Mother's Day with us," and that's what I did. They took me out to dinner. So
ah,
it's the Lord has truly blessed. But I know a lot of people don't have that. And I always say, pray and find you somebody that you can love on. Because that to me that is so important. Because I had my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my great great grandmother in my life, and then my godmother. So it's empty right now. But all my godchildren got mothers, and boy, it's something. We're having fun raising them. A lot of fun. So I'm doing vote and trying to get people out to vote right now because the polls are open early. And it's just been a blessed day today, ladies. That's it.
thank you, thank you. I almost forgot about godmothers. I got godmother. You know, but yeah, moms are everywhere.
Yes.
Uh, Miss Sylvia,
Yes.
happy
Okay.
Mother's
Hi.
Day.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really a blessing to be here to see another Mother's Day.
Oh
I
yeah.
lost my mom 5 years ago, and today is her birthday. You
Mm.
know, so
Mm,
that's like a double whammy right there. Because normally I'm trying to find something to give my mom for Mother's Day and for her birthday,
Mhm.
and now I don't have that opportunity. So that brings a little sadness to me. That I can't give my mom like I used to, but I still have my siblings.
Yes.
And the sad
mm.
thing is, as you get older, people start dropping off, and I'm like one of the older people now in my family. You know,
Ooh,
look, I'm a great grandmother now. So, so, it's like all those younger people, and I'm the matriarch now in the family. So, I'm there. I have two children, and not only do I parent my children, I have a tendency to parent everybody, even the grown folks. Even the grown folks, sometimes I have to tell them a few things, but other children, I'm definitely telling them what to do, advising them, don't do this. And sometimes I embarrass my kids, because we were at a mall one time, and they had this great big old thing full of candy, and this little boy was there by himself, and he was just loading his pockets up with candy. I'm going, hey, stop, that's enough. And my kids say, "That's Mama, don't do that. That's embarrassing." But you have to do it. You see a kid out doing something, you go back and tell the parent. And one child got upset with me. Why you tell my mama that? I'm going, why did you do it? So you're gonna have eyes watching. And I am one of those who believe in watching the kids and try to take care of them, keep them in straight, narrow way. So I'm a mom. I am a mom, even to the kids on the school bus, I know a lot of them don't get a chance to, the parents don't tell them everything they need to do. And that's why I was doing the power thoughts on the school bus, so I can teach them. I even wrote my book, Power Thoughts, to guide the kids, and it has helped them so much. I mean, they got better self-esteem. They had more respect. They even start thinking before they act, so
Whoa.
I influence the kids, so being a parent, it's a blessing. Some people might think it's a curse, but being a parent, a mother, it's a blessing. I mean, because they enhance your life. I was thinking about that today, how kids enhance my life. So now, before I became a parent, I was thinking about me. Now that I'm a parent, I think about the kids. The kids show me things, they teach me stuff, and I'm teaching them. So it enhances my life being a parent. It's not a total burden. Yeah, so that's about it. As a
We do call you sometimes affectionately Mother Hen.
yeah, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
Hey there,
my
Miss Staples, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Happy Mother's Day to both Sylvia and Dr. Teagle. And when it's Father's Day, we'll say Happy Father's Day to you, Reg. But I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Doing wonderful. I have 4 natural children and 11 adopted children. I say children that God gave me. And we struggled through the years, but it's been such a reward to have them in my life. And I really just can't picture them not being there. And I was telling one of my sons, I'm a great grandmother now, thanks to the boys. And I said, you know what? Without you guys, my life would be empty. And he said, well, look, you got a whole nother set that's coming along. We need you to keep them in line like you used to do us. And he reminded me of an incident that happened down at the underground. He was singing, because he's a singer by trade, and lots of people in the crowd and whatnot. And he made a move that I didn't think he should have made towards one of the young ladies. And he said, Mama, you forgot we were singing. You were up there talking about, boy, stop that, in front of all of the people. So mothering is what we do. Mothering is what we do. And from that point on, then I became the band's mother too. But like Sylvia said, it's like, it's an automatic thing almost. You see something wrong and you want to correct it. And that to me is what makes a good mother. To see something and know how to steer the child or guide the child the right way so that they don't keep making that same mistake. But I love mothering. I love being a grandmother. I love being anybody's mother that'll let me be their mother. It's fine with me. And it just has helped. And I really believe it is what God intended for us to do when he created mothers. We are the nurturers. We are the givers. The men are the providers and protectors. And we're the nurturers. We are the ones that's tasked with bringing up those behind us, our children. And then if your parents realize what your children do influences other children. So if you raise them right or raising them right, those of their friends, how to say, flock sticks together, then you'll find that those kids that your friends are hanging out, their friends are hanging out with, kind of do the same things that they do. And they want you to be their mother. And if there's a problem at home, they can come to you about it and know that you're not going to put them down. You're not going to insult them and hurt their feelings. But you're going to try to find the help. And it has served well for me. Like I said, I have 11, 14 And now with the grands, our brood has grown 2 or 3 times. That the grandchildren, and one of my granddaughters told me yesterday, she said, Nana, I don't know any of my other nanas. So my baby will know you as Nana Nana. And I said, well, that's wonderful. So now I'm a grandmother and I'm a Nana Nana. So that's my new title.
Wow.
Nana, nana.
Wow. Ah.
Yeah, Nana
Oh, well,
Nana.
definitely. That I like that. Uh, just thinking about it. Uh, what was one of the most memorable things uh your mom ever uh just told you? Something, a life lesson that mom gave you that sticks with you today.
Hmm.
So I'll go first. Uh,
Okay.
uh, don't spend all your money. And one of the things even before uh my mom passed, uh, I had it's been years since I had to borrow some money from mom. Go and say, Mom, I'm short again. So one of the things my mom uh did put in my head was don't spend all your money. I'll give you a story. I was here in Atlanta, and this was as early as I think uh what's that 19. I got here at 84, so it had to be like 1985. My younger brother and I, uh we were behind on the rent, and believe it or not, in Atlanta, Georgia, each one 3-bedroom with $365. And guess what? We didn't have the money. So
Mm-hmm.
my mom came to our rescue and she said, don't spend all your money. So uh, it was some other times after that, but that did stick in my head, not to spend all your money.
Okay. I know one of the things, the only thing I can think of, my mom told me that Sylvia, sometimes you can just be too stingy, too tight. Because I'm a frugal person, right? So if something costs a whole lot of money, I won't buy it. But she taught me that sometimes you need to spend that money to get what you want. Otherwise, you're going to be dissatisfied later on. And I have seen that happen. It was something I wanted, but the cost was a little bit. And it's like, I can't spend that kind of money on that, But then, I go home and I regret not getting it. So now I sometimes I just get it. Her words keep running in my head. Sylvia, sometimes you can be too stingy. You can be too tight with your money. So I just go ahead and get it, and then I'm happy, you know. So I mean, it's good to be frugal with your money when it's low, but then sometimes you can be too frugal, and that's what my problem was, that she thought. So
Oh,
yeah. So that's the only thing I can think of right now, besides her telling me that I'm the oldest and I'm supposed to look out for everybody. You know,
mm,
yeah,
okay.
because she like she was the oldest, and everybody come to her for all the problems. The holidays they go to her for meals and stuff like that. And so she had to be the one. Well, I won't say have to, but she was the one that check on everybody, all her nieces and nephews and sisters and brothers. And since I'm up here and I have a couple of cousins here, she would ask me, "How's such and such doing?" I'm going, "I don't know." She said, "Sylvia, you're the oldest. You're supposed to be checking on them." So now knows that she's gone. I'm thinking about that. I'm supposed to check on them. I need to go check on them. Check on people to see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we always stick in my head with my mom.
All right.
And I think for
Anybody else?
me, it was when I had my oldest daughter, the one that passed away. Mommy said to me, maybe about 6 months in, she said, "Look, it's wonderful to have children." She said, "But you better plan a life for your life without them, because when they reach a certain age, it's not your program anymore. So what are you gonna do for yourself when they're up and gone out of your house? What are you gonna do?" And I thought about it, and I was like, "Wow, I always wanted to be a doctor. Always wanted to be a doctor." So That's what I'm studying now to be a doctor. So
Oh, okay.
that was,
Good.
yeah. So that's always been in my head. Now that the girls are up and gone, and the boys are gone, most of them are married, have their own families. I'm an empty
Mm,
nester. It's time for me to do what I wanted to do all along.
mm.
So
Mhm.
that's what I'm doing. So I thank her today for that very same thing. So she said, yeah, because honey, it's sad when you don't know what you want to do with your life and they're all gone. And as you see, they don't show up when you think they're going to show up. So, because I said, oh, yeah, well, I'll be here and they'll come on down for the holidays. All right, that has not happened yet. I get all the calls and
Ah,
all the messages and texts. But as you said, those kids have their own life. And you are not the main attraction in their life. I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So that's mine. And that'll be my tip for any new mother. Wonderful to have your
ah,
children, but plan your life for you too.
Yeah.
My mother was eight of us, and I'm next to the oldest. And my mother, she would always say, "Well, baby, you know you gotta look out for your brothers and sisters." And I would say things, but I'm not the oldest, Mama. And she would say, "I don't care what number you are, you have to take care of your younger brothers and sisters." And I
ah.
said, Lord have mercy. And then one day she told me, she said, I didn't have brothers and sisters. She was an only child.
Wow.
And
Mm.
she said, it don't, she said, if I had brothers and sisters, I would have looked out after them. I said, I'm sure you would, because I mean, all eight of us had friends, and we would bring them home. So if you got eight children,
Okay.
and if they bring home one, that means there's 16 children in that
Mhm.
house. And she would always say, "Well, baby, we gotta fix it up. We got company coming." And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, who's coming, Mama?" And she said, "Well, baby, y'all gonna bring somebody." And it was always like that. It just back then we didn't even have a telephone when I was in elementary school. So you couldn't call and say you're bringing somebody home. We just brought people home, and sometimes people would stay all night. And so she
Mhm.
said, you always have to be ready. You keep your house presentable, you dress presentable, always ready, because it's always something to do. She said, and you must do it right the first time, so you won't have to go back and do it again. So I'm just thankful for that. I don't keep the house quite like I'm sure she would want, but I try to be ready in case somebody comes and well, with COVID we don't have it anymore. But if somebody comes drop by for dinner, or we at dinner time, you have enough for anybody to come in the door or whatnot. Somebody come from out of town. Back then, they didn't even call. Now you do have to call me because I don't sit here now. But other than that, I gotta get in the freezer if you can wait.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, because there's something about being ready and not having to go to the store, or being able to open my door, at least have one bedroom that somebody can go sleep in, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Because I moved away 50 years ago. So my big thing was, well, y'all come on down. Well, if they're gonna come on down, where they gonna stay? So I always try to
Mm-hmm.
extra
Ah,
bedroom, have some food and stuff like that, because that's what they always did. We could just get up from the table and somebody walk in. Mama would go in there and start cooking all over again, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody would eat again because they were your guests.
Mm-hmm.
I got that down pretty good. Cold stopped it, but I got it down. Yeah. Thank
hey,
you.
I will ask y'all a question. Uh, what's uh, what's one of the most interesting? Uh, oh, I'm looking here. Mother's a verb. It's something you do, not just who you are. That's
Mhm.
Dorothy Canfield Fisher. That's a powerful quote.
It
Yes,
is.
Ah, yeah.
yes.
But now, what's one of the most unusual things or unexpected things your mother ever asked you? Uh, and I'm gonna throw this out here first. And I think this was when my mom was in her 80s. She asked me about the Illuminati.
Oh, really?
And I was like, okay. She said, who is Illuminati? She called it the Illuminati or something. I said, you mean Illuminati? Because my mom, she grew up a Baptist. She, you know, Christian, dedicated, focused, pretty much the old school mom. So when she asked me that, that was out of the question. That was one of the things I just didn't think she'd ask. But she did ask me that. And believe it or not, I Googled it and dropped some information. By the time we got through talking about it, we started about 10 o'clock at night. And it was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I kept up all night. We went in and out talking about, we went everywhere. I mean, I I showed her some videos. I mean, but it was interesting, and that was one of and even when I talked to my brothers, that's one of the most interesting things my mom ever asked me. The question that I was not expecting to be asked. But with you all, what's one of the most interesting things or maybe shocking things your mother ever asked?
Hmm. Well, my mom never asked me any questions. I was always going to her.
Mm,
so
Well,
so I can't think of
okay.
anything she ever asked me, but I know I've called her a bunch of times, crying sometimes, you know, especially with this parenting thing, you know. So I can tell you one of the things she said. I know one time I was crying because I had told my kids the night before, get your clothes together so we could go to church. The next morning, I'm up, we getting ready to go to church. I'm ready to walk out the door. They can't find their shoes. And we looking all over the place, and I got upset. We getting late, and I started crying, and I called my mom. And, and she said,
Uh,
Sylvia, you don't expect them to act like grown folks. I'm going, yes, I do. No, you don't, Sylvia. They're children. You don't expect them to act like grown folks. Yes, I do. you know. So she had to school me on parenting. Because I expect them to do what I tell them to do, be ready. So but that didn't happen. But
I had that same experience.
huh?
I had that same experience when the kids were really young. And I think Tiffany was about 5. Cassandra could have been 4. Liana was 3. And I had got them ready for Easter. And they had already finished breakfast. I told them to sit on the couch, and I went to get ready. When I came back, them kids was the shoes was off, the socks was off, the barrettes and the bows was gone. I'm like, what happened? I called my mother too. She said, well, don't try to calm.
Yeah.
She said, don't try to calm down. She said, go ahead and fix them the Easter eggs, and y'all just do Easter at your house. Put them in the backyard. Let the children run around for the what's name. But they had their Easter speeches, and I was like, but they got their Easter speeches, and she said, girl, it's gonna be many a days. She said, so calm down. You didn't lose the war. You just lost the battle of Easter this time. So when Sylvia said it, that put me right back in that moment. And I was boo-hooing too. I was boo-hooing.
Yeah.
But we ended up not going that Sunday. But I was ready for them next year. I
Yeah.
put stocking caps on their head and tied them scarves around there. They couldn't get to them barrettes and whatnot then. But they were a little older. But I had them ready for Christmas and for that following Easter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, my mom, I used to complain about my kids getting on my nerves. And she said, they getting on your nerve. They were messing around and stuff. And she said, they getting on your feet right now. When they get grown, they're going to get on your nerves. And she used to tell me to enjoy your kids while they're small because when they get grown, they're going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things she told me to enjoy them while they're small. And all that stuff that I was crying about, that was petty stuff compared to what can happen.
Yeah. So what they facing nowadays? Yes. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a
Uh,
young parent today.
ooh.
It's too
well,
much.
well, what would your advice be? I mean, I'm gonna ask you one question first. Another one. I just thought about it. Any
Oh,
of
Sharon
y'all
didn't get to
consider?
share hers.
that's
Oh
okay.
yeah, just share it. Go ahead.
Well, y'all, I don't want to be selfish, but a lot of mine was dealing because it was 8 of us, right? And I would always try to pin, like if so and so did something, I would always want to go tell mama. And mama said, if I leave you here with them, you're supposed to be in control. I said, how am I going to control these kids, mama? She said, well, you have to take authority. Well, I was able to handle the children because I'd fuss at them. I would fuss at them. They wasn't used to that. And I'd be, being 8, I would talk louder than they could. So when they were little, that was fine. Well, this one particular day, we had a babysitter, and the babysitter, she said something to me, and I used my voice, and I operate with my brothers and sisters, and I told her, what do you mean you gonna talk to me like that? Honey, you fired, you go home. That lady walked out and went home. When my mother came in, she said, Sharon, where's the babysitter? There's a girl next door. She said, where's the babysitter? I said, I guess over at Miss Watkins with her crazy butt. And mama said, huh? Over there at Miss Watkins. She said, why is she over there at Miss Watkins? I said, I fired her. Mama, what? I said, you told me take control. I took control. I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the same thing I would if it's one of these kids. She said, oh, so you don't pay them, but you can fire them. But I tell you what, it'll be a long time before y'all see another babysitter because we got one living right here. I babysit till I got married. There is a clear difference. See, in my mind, I thought that was for everybody. Like the kids today, I know as kids will watch you and how you treat somebody. These little children will treat people according to how they see you treat people. I go, what is this? And then I had to think back. Oh, so they're taking control. I need to not show them so much control or explain to them why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that it's only for adults. There's certain decisions you make, children shouldn't make them. They should talk that over, discuss it with their parents. So I tried to do that with them, behind that big mistake I made. Because, guys, I was 18 before I got 18 years and 13 days before I stopped babysitting. And really, I didn't because I had a niece by then. I'd keep her. But it was just the idea. Mama kept all my girlfriend's kids. All of them. So she was never without children around. Right there holding on or something. I mean, like from 0 on up. But yeah. So I that made me watch how she handled things too. Not as reckless as I was really gonna be reckless, y'all, if I had never gotten control of that, of when to say what and whatnot. But all those children, and they, she died, all of them came to the funeral. It was a bunch of children, But yeah, God is able. I'm thankful for that experience. So I learned how to babysit. The neighbors would hire me to come babysit, and they knew wasn't nobody gonna run over me.
Now, when you look at the family, I always think about that movie Soul Food, where you had the family, extended family. Today is a little bit different. You had the family, you had cousins, nieces, nephews, all these folks could come in the family and you could kind of control them. But it might be like a big mama that held down the family. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys ladies, 2 questions. Have you ever had to feel the big mama position? And do you have a mama look? What's your mama look? Where people know my mama, she would bat her eyes real hard, quick. So you knew that meant serious business. She do that, and she didn't even have to whoop us. We knew when she flooded those eyes, it was showtime. And they call her little mama, but she held down the camp like a big mama. So have you, I mean, do y'all have a look, a mama look, or where? Because people play with their mama now. I saw a lady in the store, and the baby was doing all kind of things, and she didn't have no mama look, and it wasn't
That's why
nice.
she's
And that
that
little
spoiled.
baby, yeah. So do y'all have a mama look, or y'all had to fill the role of a big mama? Is there a
Both.
mama look? Uh,
Oh yeah,
okay,
it's
okay.
definitely a mama look.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
Can you give
normally
us
I
that
just have
mama
to
look?
look. Don't get me.
Well,
Yeah.
No, I ain't playing with you.
I
You
had
know.
one, but I don't know what it was because I look at my kids. They say, "What?" Or they're straighten up. Look, my husband even straightened up.
all right.
Yeah,
Ah,
I give him that look, and he don't straighten up.
Mm-mm.
All right. Hey, it goes deep. It goes deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
ah.
and being as I'm the oldest one as far as the big mama, I am the oldest in the family. So everybody come to me for stuff and how to bake stuff and for advice and all of that. So yeah, I've kind of taken on that role a little bit.
Mhm.
That's good. 'Cause I've been going to Google. So, cause since my godmother and my brother are both dead, cause he did all the cooking. Cause I cooked, but I didn't cook like for hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm.
And he would. But if somebody would do something and it kind of surprised me, it's not a look, it's words. It may not be always that nice, especially when they're grown. I mean, if they grown, I treat them like they grown.
Okay.
I'm not a baby. With
Okay.
babies, I
Mm-hmm.
just expect grown folks to be grown folks.
Grown folks.
So,
Mhm.
and all the man are grown, praise the Lord. Now there's a few little ones, but their parents won't they don't, they let them know that's and sharing. I've had some pastors even send their children over, especially when they get sometimes how sometimes they get where they're not talking back or nothing, but they just want to do, and you can tell that what they want to do. They spend a couple of days with me campaigning. Sugar, they'd be glad
No.
to go back home. I mean, oh, one child spent a week with me,
Ah,
and believe you me, to this day, when something pop off, if he done tried everything he can, he'll come now. But Rep, I need to talk to you. You know what I mean? It's like I had to, but my husband said, and I always wondered about this when it's
ah.
my ex-husband. He'll say things to the kids like this. He'll say, Daddy, now what are you doing? And so
Mm,
I used to wonder, why would you say daddy when this is the child? And he said, I want them to know who's talking.
mm,
Because once they realize this is daddy talking, because sometimes uh, they'll give a different answer. You get their attention. Because
mm,
he said sometimes they don't know who's talking. Sometimes when I go to fussing. So he says if you identify yourself,
mm.
it makes the conversation a whole lot better. For these kids. And I mean, his daughter is what? She's 7 now. When she was
Wow.
real little, he would always say, "Daddy," and da da da. And to this day, she's so grown. She told him one maybe 2 years ago. He said, "Daddy," and this, and this, and she said, "Daddy, I know who you are." He said, "I want to make sure, because your aunt
Ah,
Sharon, she's crazy enough to think you are grown because she told me,
mm,
she responds quick. She's real quick." And so
Mm-hmm.
he said, I want to make sure that you practice this with me. So when you get caught with your Aunt Sharon, she won't knock you somewhere because you don't forgot who's talking. And I
mm,
go, well, I'm not going to hit her like that. He said, but it's
ah,
it's something that I do. Well, I can't tell you all that it is. But he said, it's almost like I get a belt quick and I'll threaten them with every inch of
Oh
their
yeah, I'm
life,
good for that.
and that I do know
wow.
I will do that. But she's quick. She told her daddy one day, we were on the phone, She says, tell Aunt Sharon that if I forget, it's only because I have temporary amnesia.
Uh,
I know you whooped her butt. I know you whooped her butt. Boy, wait till I get over there. I'm going tomorrow. So, but it's just the idea. You do have to tell children to get their attention. Because my mama, she would whoop us. My mother could whoop 8 children in one day and go to work. I couldn't whoop one and go to work. So I mean, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I had to get their attention the best way I could. But it's a. I don't know. It's a look. It's a yell. It's depending on who it is. Everything calls for different things. But I'm thankful. I pray for them now. They get a little scared. Especially even some of the adults, if they know that I've done something wrong, and I go, well, I'm going to pray for you, and don't let me bring out the all. That they really get scared.
Yeah, got another question. Wow, y'all got me laughing. But if you could ask your mother, if you could speak to your mother today, what will you ask
Mm.
Ooh. What would
I
I
just
ask?
paid the taxes on the house.
the
Uh,
what?
I paid taxes on her house. Uh, well, it's our house now. The other day, and
Okay.
I would really like to say, Mom, do you really want us to keep this house? Cause what?
Uh,
Nobody lives in it. They done vandalize it. And
Oh,
what she would
oh,
always say growing up was, I want y'all to have some so in case y'all have to come home and grow some cotton or grow because we always had gardens. I mean, y'all, I'm growing tomatoes around here. But
okay.
she said you might need some, might need a little dirt to do something with. And it by being
Mm-hmm.
so many of y'all, or 2 of them have died, but still, and then she would always say that. And every time I think about, let me sell this thing, I don't do it. It just it's crazy. But I would like to know, can I sell the house? I would
Uh,
ask her that if she was in today, because she wasn't living in it when she died. She was living.
uh,
She had finally moved out into a senior property where she was around more people. Because, like you say, we don't go home. We don't call. I have a girlfriend who used to embarrass. No, it was kind of embarrassing when she met my mother. Mama adopted her at the Democrat convention in '96. And I don't care what the holiday was, she get mama's gift, her card, everything. Almost
uh,
not a month before me, but she always beat me. And a lot of times I didn't get nothing. I'd send her some money and to my girlfriend. She said, that's a poor excuse. Because she's supposed to think about it and go buy her something. So anyway,
mm,
um,
wow.
yeah. So I would really, I don't want to do too much wrong with that girl. Sent me a Mother's Day card. She sent it. Apparently, I just went to the mail. So 2 weeks ago, she had put my Mother's Day card in the mail, and it came to my box.
uh,
I just took it out yesterday. But God is able.
uh,
I know I'm gonna get around.
uh, okay. Well, anybody else? What would you ask your mother, Miss Simeon or Miss Staples, if you had an opportunity to ask them something? What would you ask?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Well,
And
my
my mom
mother.
is sick, so I just talked to her right before I hung up from you. I just hung up
Okay.
before we
Okay.
got on. So it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, my mom just passed back in December.
Oh,
Yes, I love you. Uh, that would be one of the things. But I would probably, I would ask my mom, you know, because one like you just said about property. My mom uh was was good with money. Uh, I would ask my mom, even though I have asked her before how she did it, but how was she able to raise 3 boys off of what would be considered a minimum salary. And my mom actually uh, had three houses, you know, and still had two in debt. And cars, all of us, she had to co-sign for us to get cars, you know. And I looked, I said, well, how could one woman do all of that, you know? And that would be one of the things. But yeah, I've learned a lot from my mom when it comes down to finances, when it comes down to ownership, when it comes down to holding things down. But that would be one of the things. Even then, when she, uh, her probably last 6 months of her life, she had a stroke. My mom, believe it or not, she retired when she was like 65. Then she got right back in the workforce,
Mm.
and she didn't retire again. She was like 82. She worked for what, about almost 20 more years, cleaning up a house for a doctor. And I always remember my mom. I had a product, a car washing product, and I sent it for my brother to use. Well, my mom was 73 years old, and I thought she was calling me to say, well, uh, I like that product, and Greg washed the car for me. No, my mom was 73 years old. She called to tell me how much money you making washing cars in the lab. I'm like, well, she said, well, I don't come out the house unless it's $50. I said, what do you mean? She said, if you had customers at 73 years old washing their cars with my dry washing guard product, and my brother couldn't get no customers. She said, yeah, I got about five customers. I was like, wow, goodness, you too old to be. Didn't tell her that. My brother called me and said, man, you can't have mom out here. You're supposed to be retired. You got out there washing cars. You know. So when you think
Wow, she
about
was
that,
for real.
oh yeah, yeah, I get entrepreneurship. Yeah, my mom, sold insurance, uh, Avon, and she would walk and outwalk the guys that were selling insurance in their car. She would
Mm.
move across, because there's a little square area. She walked under clotheslines, all kind of crazy stuff. And they be like, how do you get over here? Because, back in the day, men ain't never changed. Mom was a single mom. So she walked, they would say, you want to ride? By the time they asked her for a ride, she was already to the next house, got across
Mm.
there, collected that money, and kept it moving. So, that's another uh, life lesson I learned from my mom. But that would be one of the things I would ask her, the strength. And I know it comes because she was a very prayerful woman. And so it was, she said it came from the Lord. That's what
Mm.
she was,
Yeah.
even one of the last, a lot of times, even when I would visit my mom, there was a couple of things, like I say, having conversations. It was a couple of things my mom didn't want to happen before she left the planet.
Mhm.
One, she didn't want to break a bone. Okay, if you know people that are turned elderly, so one of the things I taught my mom was how to fall. Okay, it wasn't a fall; it was a slide. I taught my mom how to slide. My brother said, "Man, okay, she was 80, maybe right at 84. Taught her how to slide, so she slid all the way to the last time she fell. And she slid. She didn't break anything, that type thing. And then, uh, I taught her how to do some exercises from the bed. I call her in the morning. She said, I'm raising my feet. I said, okay, you keep your feet, you won't have to lose them. So we would have
Mhm.
that type conversation. I said, you want to keep all your feet with you before you leave? We say leave the planet. She kept her feet, you know, and those were some things. And anytime, she had with high blood pressure, diabetes, and I would know when she ate something that she wasn't supposed to eat. I said, "Well, Mom, why is that sugar up there like that? Why you got 278?" She said, "Well, I ate some cake." So,
Oh.
and she didn't know why it was going on like that. Uh, I see a question down here. I think this is a question for you. think somebody I got to look on this device because I couldn't see it. Uh, you was your mom active in voting? Somebody asked that. Doctor C.
Yes. Yeah. Well, y'all in our community, like I say, it was 8 of us. It was 18 across the
Mhm.
street. Um, Anything you want to do in Indiana, in Indianapolis, in our area on the east side, you wanted to pass out flyers. We had precinct captains and stuff like that. They were always members of the family. So you needed people to
Mm.
pass out flyers. You could get almost 20 something people, no problem. My mother was a coordinator of it.
Oh,
Mm.
You
wow.
had something you wanted, flyers, leaflets, or whatnot. Um, and when we received the right to vote in '65, they had, I mean, we all knew, we had a routine, uh, whoever was in charge, they called mama, daddy, whatever. And we would go pass out the information, talk to the people. By the time I got in high school in '66, see, mom was taking people to the polls back then, and
Ah.
they had, yeah, they did out the groundwork as the ground crew, like for airplane. They did the ground. They were the ground crew um,
Mm.
up there in Indianapolis because that's just how they did things. And yeah, she was an active Democrat. She died at 81, and she was
Mm.
taking people to the polls that lived in her building. She was the only female that was driving, and she would take
Wow.
them to the polls to vote. So, I mean,
Move to the
Obama,
pole.
y'all. I mean, he got everybody out. And my mama just laughed. She said, "I've never taken so many people. I had to go on to the other street over there, to take people to polls that they were passing her number out. So it was an exciting time, y'all. I mean, I've had some exciting
Yes.
times, but yeah. Indiana is a Republican state, but it didn't stop nobody. It didn't stop nothing. It just um, they didn't get a Democrat until 88,
Whoa.
1988. So the
Wow.
governor, a Democrat governor, they got when they passed the right to vote, they did get some black elected officials, and the one that was in my area, uh, he was state rep for 40 years. So if I hadn't have left when I did, I never would have been a state representative. I
Mm.
went to his funeral. But my mother was acting. They all knew Mama and my brother Charles and everybody because we did that kind of stuff, and everybody knew that you have children on your team. As long as you have young people, you can always do a lot of things. You can hit more
Mm.
houses and whatnot. And the church, on the corner, we had a Catholic church and a Baptist church. All of them were involved. It was some type of thing that was going on. So Mama, she would participate with everybody, with each one. So yeah, she was very active. My godmother too, though. She went
Wow.
to the second time President Obama got elected. She did all that walking to go see him get sworn in.
Wow.
Mm.
From
Yeah.
where long ways, but she did it. She did it.
I
With my
want to
daughter,
ask y'all
huh?
one other thing, and
Mhm.
I know Miss Staples, your mother is still alive. Uh,
Mm.
but what's one of the most memorable things you remember doing with your mom?
For me, it was two things: her college graduation with her master's, and
Mm.
she graduated from Hunter. And she must have been in her, because she's 85 now, so she must have been about 50 something. And I watched her, doing all her studies and whatnot. My dad was so supportive of her. And when they called her name and she went across that stage, I was the proudest kid in America to see her. And, um, back in the 80s, then in that 50s kind of category, that was big time. You didn't go back to school that then too much. And she did. And I was just so proud of her. And then when we moved to Georgia, we're with the Five Baptized Holiness Church, and she was ordained as an ordained pastor. That to me was the most ultimate calling that she could have ever gotten. So those were the two things that really for her is her college graduation and her pastoral estate.
That's a
Wow.
blessing.
Wow.
Okay. I know for me, what did they when you mentioned your mom going to school? That remind me of my mom. She started went to college too, and like this was like after everybody was grown, our grandkid was there and everything. I'm living here in Atlanta, and she had started back to school. She only took a few classes, but just the fact that she was in school really made me proud. And I'm living here in Atlanta, and she was in Mississippi, and we'd be on the phone, and I'm helping her with her math work, her math homework. That really made me feel good to know my mom is in school and I'm helping her do her work. So
Mhm.
I was proud of that because she sent all five of us to college. And she
Mhm.
kept some of the grandkids in school, and now she's trying to get a little bit more because she graduated from high school, but she didn't go to college until then. So that made me
Mhm.
proud of her. And the other thing is, my mom was an organizer too. You know, social butterfly thing. she 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 had a good high school, right? And she loved the people she went to school with and wanted to see how they were doing. So she started gathering all the people together to have a class reunion. And so I
Mm.
helped her out, helped her with the t-shirts and cooking and all that kind of stuff. She cooked for everybody. She was making phone calls day and night. Had people were coming in from Chicago and all those other places. She brought in some of her school teachers, that taught her when she was, in school. And so that was a proud moment too for me, to know that she could organize and get all that stuff together. And I look back, I'm going, that's where I got that from, for me organizing stuff. But those were some of the things that I liked about my mom. She was an organizer, an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Mhm. No, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Mr. Aaron?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking while you were talking about going to school and whatnot. Um, my mother, she would go a lot of places with me, and one of the things I really was just proud of when we used to march all the time to get Dr. King's holiday. My mother always participated with me. My grandmother came to come down here and whatnot. And this year, this year that they came, it had become a holiday, and it was our first year doing the walk uh, as a holiday. And so everybody went all out and whatnot and whatnot. We a real what we do on holidays. We barbecue. We invite everybody over and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what we did. And it was she walked the entire way
Whoa.
and kept up with the children. I wasn't gonna be bothered with that on that walk because we lost the donkey. The donkey got lost,
Oh,
y'all. And everybody they couldn't find the donkey because we all got a donkey in the front with the like the horse,
ah,
the mule, and the wagon and stuff like that. Well, I got a little upset with the guys that lost the donkey, and so I couldn't get back to where I needed to be for that piece. But she just went right on. She and my grandmother, they had a wonderful time. They didn't complain about nothing. Uh,
ah,
and I guess it's the different roles you play. They were so glad to be there. They didn't pay that much attention to what went wrong. And at
mm,
the end of the night, what my grandmother said was, Sharon, you don't have to run everything. And that's just what she that's just what she said. But I was so proud of them. I mean, I'm just 70. So I got a ways to go to do what they have done. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
that's why I try to make sure I still go down there and do and whatnot. in January. Certain things I'm just gonna do, like taking the kids to Selma, mama and them, they would go there and whatnot. So I'm just proud, just because she had that spirit, and now that you mention it, it's in me too. I just didn't think, I
Mhm.
thought it was what I was supposed to do, was water life. You know what I mean? They didn't give me a choice. A
Uh,
choice. It wasn't a choice. It's something from being a kid. We just happened to, So, but I'm thankful for that though, because it really has molded me and my daughter and her friends around her. So I'm just proud that they should not only they taught us what to do, but they led by example. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really very proud of that. Just to see the two of them out there and doing and whatnot, I'm thankful. I'm
Yeah.
thankful.
So you know your mom planted that seed in you as a kid to be the leader, and
Yeah,
you took it
Mm.
on through life. You
yeah,
know, and my mom planted the seed in voting. You
yeah,
know, I
yeah.
used to watch her go vote. She was a
Mhm.
Democrat, so when it was my time, I was gonna be
Yes,
a Democrat.
yeah, yeah.
So that's
uh,
what I was, and I couldn't wait until I turned 18 so I could vote too. So, and I've been
Yeah,
voting ever
uh,
since. I've been
Yeah,
voting
wow.
me too.
ever
And,
since.
and ladies, again, happy Mother's Day
thank you.
to all the mothers out there that are alive, godmothers, biological mothers, stepmothers, aunties, uh, all the women that step in and help our families grow. Uh, Happy Mother's Day. Uh, one of the things I remember mostly finishing up a big thing with my mom was going up to D.C. She had a walker, and we drove up there, and I guess by the grace of God, we was able to park, and she was able to see Dr. King's statue.
Mm,
Uh, and I think she was about 86 then. And
mm.
my brothers, I said, I know y'all ain't have my mama walking around D.C. with a walker, but she did it. I mean, we could talk her into so many things, and she'd
Yeah.
go. Uh, and when you think about voting, getting people to vote, and all that type stuff, just participating and being they call my mom the bread house lady because we had a bread house, and she, we hated it growing up, but we call us honey buns and cinnamon rolls, I mean, along with these other names they gave us. But to the mothers out there, including yourselves, that nurture our communities, that step in and make sure the families stay intact. Happy Mother's Day. And closing out, I encourage everyone to subscribe to our channel, Square Mile Media Atlanta. Like, share, and much love and peace to all the mothers out there. We couldn't got here without you guys, okay?
Right. Yes.
Stay
All
on a
Okay.
right.
mission.
Thank
Moms are
you.
always on a
Yes.
mission.
Yes.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, always.
we love you. We appreciate you. And happy Mother's Day. And thanks for sharing your stories with us, okay?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you. Enjoy your
All
evening,
right.
everyone. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.